I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:01. Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Sean?
Here.
Councilmember Davies?
Here.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Powers?
Here.
And Mayor Court.
Here.
Everyone is present, thank you.
Okay, Father Claire is not here, so it's going to be Father Court, I guess.
There you go.
All right. Dear God, we ask blessings on this meeting and for all who are in attendance, that they may speak their mind in a good way and help direct our city in the right direction. We would like some prayers for Michael Davies' dad. He's currently in the hospital. And also, I always pray for a cancer cure. It affects everybody in this room. You've had it. You've had friends that have had it, moms, dads, etc. And it's very important. And also for our negotiations with Ukraine, Russia, and the United States. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, pledge.
Please stand, place your hand over your heart, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. Staff recommendations are shown in caps. Okay, do we have any audience that would like anything removed from the consent agenda? Council? No?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second. Councilmember Chum? Yes. Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Court.
Yes.
5-0 vote, motion carried.
Okay, public comment. Ashley, Tori, do we have anything? No? Okay. All right.
Ask the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry. Audience, any comments, suggestions? Council, no? Okay. All right, city clerk report.
We're on to the development services reports, item 6.
Oh, we're all the way down there. I forget about that. Okay, development services report. Up and Adam.
Good evening, Mayor, Hogan Court, and Council. Item 6 is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance to revise the Tehachapi Municipal Code regarding residential rental property inspection requirements. I think we went into a pretty detailed discussion last time of everything in here, so I'll make this fairly short and sweet. The four main things we're looking to do with this ordinance is to adopt a written policy and procedure for inspecting substandard conditions in multifamily housing, to require rental properties, residential rental properties within the city to be registered with the city with a contact person required for who we can reach out to if there are issues with the property. A good faith clause that requires property owners to make a good faith effort to prevent crime and substandard conditions from happening on their property. And lastly, requiring owners of 1, 2, and 3 unit residential rentals to pay a business tax. And that would be a flat tax of $40 annually. And lastly, because it's an administrative ordinance, it's not subject to CEQA. So for that, staff recommends that you adopt an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Tehachapi, California, amending the Tehachapi Municipal Code to adopt rental, registration, and inspection regulations, proposed TNC Chapter 8.72, and make related changes to business license taxes for apartment complexes, TNC Chapter 5.08, and making a finding of exemption from CEQA. I'm happy to answer any questions. Chief Sanders is here as well. We would have Zach from RWG on the Zoom call to answer any questions as well.
Only if you need it.
Oh,
Only
okay.
if you need it. There's no further.
Okay, great, thank you. Do I have any questions from the audience or public? Council? Do I have a motion then?
I'll make the motion, Mayor, that we adopt the ordinance of the city of Tehachapi amending Tehachapi Municipal Code to adopt rental registration and inspection regulations.
I'll second.
Councilmember Chong? Yes. Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Gordon?
Yes.
5-0 vote to adopt an ordinance by title only.
Thank you. Item 7 is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance revising the Tehachapi Municipal Code regarding administrative fines, penalties, and enforcement of code violations, short-term rental regulations, garbage and rubbish regulations, parking space compliance, funding of exemption from CEQA, and a resolution to establish a schedule of fines and penalties. Again, I'll just briefly go over everything since we discussed it pretty in-depth last time. For administrative citations, we're looking to give police officers more discretion in how they prosecute violations of the community code. So they would have discretion to either treat it as a misdemeanor or infraction instead of just a misdemeanor like the current code requires. Second is to enable the council to update administrative fines and penalties via resolution instead of via an ordinance. And lastly is to update the administrative citation process and our appeals processes, just to clarify code language and to bring us more in line with the government code. So, for example, the saying what needs to be on the ticket and how the appeals process would go if somebody wanted to appeal a ticket. Moving on to short-term rentals. So the biggest change here is that we're looking to make is to limit new short-term rental permits to the downtown area in order to help safeguard the peace and quiet and safety of residential neighborhoods. Of course, we'll still be keeping an eye on them in the downtown area too. We're not going to be promoting or encouraging any wild parties, but given that in the downtown area you have houses next to businesses, next to hotels, it's more appropriate for houses to serve as Airbnbs in that area as opposed to residential neighborhoods where we've gotten comments from people in those neighborhoods where I'm like, I don't know who's gonna be my neighbor next weekend, and every once in a while they get parties back there, trash scattered around, so going forward it would be limited to the downtown area. Existing short-term rental permits outside of downtown would be grandfathered in as long as they keep renewing their permit and remain in good standing with the city. Actually, if you want to scroll back up to the map, if you'll notice we cleaned up the map a little bit on the south end where C Street crosses over or kind of stops and jumps over Philip Smart Central Park. We cleaned up that boundary line there before. The code unfortunately didn't or doesn't go into detail of how that boundary is supposed to be there. It just says C Street is the south boundary. So we kind of cleaned up the map a little bit to where the boundary for short-term rentals follows the streets, and so we don't have that line cutting through yards and developments there. So other changes for short-term rentals are just procedural. I won't go into those. I think we kind of went over those pretty well last time. Just to reduce staff workload and to clarify what the short-term rental is. Garbage and rubbish regulations. I think the best way to summarize what we're looking to do is, if it's not trash day, bring your trash up. Don't let the crows get into your trash. If they do, and it blows on your neighbor's yard, it's still your trash. Knock on their door and ask if you can pick it up. If you're a business that has a dumpster with a trash enclosure, keep your dumpster closed, keep the trash enclosure shut, keep the ravens out of your trash, and keep your parking lot clean. Parking space compliance, the changes we're looking to make would be to enable the police department to cite vehicles who don't park within the lines that are painted on streets in the downtown area, to parking spaces on Green Street, F Street near City Hall. So going forward, vehicles would be required to stay within those lines. And lastly, because these changes are administrative and regulatory in nature and do not have any physical impact on the environment, this ordinance is exempt from CEQA per the general rule. So, staff recommendation is to adopt an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Tehachapi, California, amending the Tehachapi Municipal Code to update various provisions, including provisions pertaining to administrative fines, penalties, and enforcement of code violations, TMC chapters 1.16 and 1.20, updating short-term rental regulations, TMC chapter 8.68, revising garbage and rubbish regulations, TMC chapter 8.04, amending parking space compliance regulations, TMC chapter 10.28, and making a finding of exemption from California Environmental Quality Act. And, almost done. Adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Tehachapi establishing a schedule of fines and penalties and setting fine amounts pursuant to sections 1.16.065, 1.20.10, and 9.16.020 of the Tehachapi Municipal Code. And with that, we're happy to answer any questions.
Do I have any questions from the audience or public? Council?
Did we receive any comments from your last public comments?
No, we didn't.
Will that map be available along with the application for new temporary residents, or, sorry, short-term rentals?
Yes, we'll have a copy at City Hall, so we'll be able to show it to anyone applying for a permit, or if anyone has any questions about whether they're in the area, we can send them the map. So,
Will it be online as well, or just at the city council?
yeah, I believe we are going to post it online. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
I was happy to hear that downtown residents and their residential neighborhoods are just equal as to the benefits of peace and quiet as other residential neighborhoods. Simply because they're in this zone does not alleviate the need for our peace and quiet.
Exactly.
So, is there anything when they take out a permit for short-term rental, there are rules and regulations that remind them of such, being a good neighbor?
Yeah, so our development services techs talk to anyone applying for those permits and let them know the city's expectations for running a short-term rental within the city. And when I go out for an inspection, I talk to the homeowner as well. If it looks like it's going to be a party house or they make a mention of that, then we say, well, this isn't really the place for that. So keep an eye on your house, be a good neighbor. Short-term rentals are meant for people who want to come here and enjoy beautiful Tehachapi, so we want to keep it that way.
I have a suggestion, and you may have already done this, and so I do apologize. But the Tehachapi Area Association of Realtors would be a great organization to reach out to, make sure once this passes, that they're aware of it. So there's a lot of people come in to buy things with that intent purpose. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, we are going to be taking a phased approach to this, so we'll be doing some public outreach. I think property management companies and local realtors are going to be our main focus for letting them know about the new rental registrations.
Thank you.
And if I can also add, just like with any other citizen or any other rental, even at the hotels, they're required to follow, our ordinances and our penal code and things, and we'll enforce them appropriately. I think the main goal was just because the residential neighborhood, most of the people utilizing short-term rentals are doing their business downtown or at festivities, so it's better to get them closer to that. Less traffic congestion, less opportunity for them to get in collisions, things of that nature, because they don't know where they're going, easier parking and access to their events, and then without taking it back to the deeper residential neighborhoods, especially the schools and things like that.
Anything?
You have noticed, being a docent at the Area House, you'll find people that are in a short-term rental that are just walking around the downtown. It's a walking distance situation, so that's good. So just keeping this in mind is very happy, I'm happy to hear that.
Anything else? Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Councilmember Chong? Yes. Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Power?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ford?
Yes.
5-0 vote to adopt an ordinance and resolution by title only.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. Andrew.
Evening, Mayor Ford.
Hi.
Council members. Tonight I bring you my first item 8 on the agenda. It's the Tehachapi Boulevard Pedestrian Drainage Improvement Project Award. We went out to bid with this relatively large project. Some background on the project is the bounds are just west of the park and ride to J&H Auto. Right now, that little stream collects 3 underground storm drains and 2 surface drains, one from the park and ride, one from the street. We're gonna, with the award, we'll construct a large junction box to take in all 5 of those flows and set a 6-foot discharge pipe. The bid alternate, because it's a negative value and a bit confusing, was to do 200 feet of additional 6-foot pipe, but it would eliminate a portion of retaining wall against the junction box and the canal. So it turned out that the retaining wall was more expensive than 200 feet of 6-foot pipe. That's why the bid additives are a deduct the value. We didn't, us nor the engineer expected that to be the case. Means and method are always the contractor, so how they choose to do the work, whether they own a crane or have to rent a crane or any of those variables are theirs to decide. So in regards to the additive bid schedule, those are negative values, which furnishes us an actual, my opinion is a better product. We get 200 feet of 6-foot storm drain and push it out of the city right away. So with that, the bids were responsive. The low bid is S&D Sons Incorporated for a total bid value of $823,762. There is fiscal impact. Currently, the budget's insufficient to complete the project, but we're anticipating additional TIRSIP allocations from Kern College. So that will cover the bill, and we've confirmed that we're able to reimburse the project. So with the additional projected TIRSIP allocations, we should be able to fund the project. In the event that additional TIRSIP funds are not available, additional funding will come from the general fund. So with the recommendation, we're going to ask you to award the Tehachapi Boulevard Pedestrian and Drainage Improvement Project to S&D Sons Incorporated in the amount of $823,762 and authorize the city manager to approve any necessary change orders up to a maximum of 20%.
Do I have any questions from the public? Council?
I have a question. So we have, first of all, the junction box. Is it under the ground or is it kind of over? Because you talked about retaining wall and I thought it was below.
So the junction box is going to sit where the current flow line, it intercepts those and is only 12 inches or so below the bottom of those inlet pipes.
Right.
So is it underground? No, it will land in the current bottom of the creek though. The junction box is in the bottom of the creek.
You won't be able to see it from the street.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was trying to see on the way and I didn't see
Yeah, you
it.
won't be
So.
able to see it.
Because it's storm drain related and I obviously thought that it should, Then.
Can you show that photo?
Yeah,
Sure.
well, my ignorance is.
That's all right. So right there between the 2 arrows, there's a billboard there as well. I don't know if you can highlight it. Bummer. Anyways, the right-hand side of the red, 5 inflows all come into that creek basin. There's 3 that are underground pipes now, and then 1 that drains from the park and ride and 1 that drains from the street. So that junction box will capture all 5 of those. And
So is that overloading? I mean.
no, it's not a flow issue. It's a maintenance issue currently.
Okay.
So we're eliminating maintenance by doing this project.
Very good. So My another question is there another area of that street have the same? Are we only limiting that area just because of the funding, or is it because that's the only area that we need to do those improvements?
No, obviously we'll drop our maintenance burden, but it will allow us to do is we intend to place curb gutter, sidewalk, and asphalt infill.
Together, okay.
Correct. So really this is a road project with a large storm drain piece to be able to push that road out and then do curb gutter and sidewalk.
Thank you.
Other questions?
How old is the old drain that we're replacing? You know?
So it's an open channel right now, so we're not replacing any.
So you're not replacing,
Correct.
that's what I was wondering, you know.
We'll have to extend a couple of those, a couple feet to get them through the wall of the new junction box, but we're not traveling upstream to replace old drains.
Good, okay, that's good to know. Anything else?
Yeah, are they gonna clean up that area? And it's always been trash, where trash builds up in that area, and those trees are, and the shrubs right there.
Yeah, all the trees
Yeah.
will go away, right?
Okay.
And
You're
it's
clean
part
up
of that,
area.
and the 6-foot pipe will be backfilled.
Okay.
So, yes.
Is the red area the length of the pipe?
Not directly. It follows the channel towards the Union Pacific Railroad. So that channel actually travels behind the open channel. We hit property line at about where the back of the parking garage is, but it's diagonal. So the storm drain will travel 200 feet diagonally towards
So
each other.
the red is not curb and gutter at the moment in this project.
It will be as part of this project, part of the
That'll be installed as part of
823,000.
this project.
Mhm.
Okay, which would then allow us to increase the width of the street.
Yep, so we're gonna widen out the street, place curb gutter and sidewalk, and move our maintenance burden 200 feet further.
Perfect. And what's the size of the Tehachapi Boulevard underground storm drain?
I think they're both about 24 or 36 inches. The three that come in are all decent size. It's a 6-foot discharge.
Yes.
It can be a 6-foot pipe, so a full person can stand.
Right.
Not a ghost, it's a tall person, but you
It's
and
a
I
very
can walk.
large project we undertook years ago for Tehachapi Boulevard for drainage. I remember living in a house where taco sandwiches, old car wash that area, looking across the street when there's heavy rains, and the water was curb to curb coming down Tehachapi Boulevard. So then we went with this underground system and had the streets dug up for a long time, but it's alleviated a huge problem that was there. This is a little history.
We've been a piece at a time really working on our infrastructure in total, obviously, but the storm drain is a very important component. It's out of sight, out of mind, but Andrew and Dawn and the team have been working for years and years, previous to them also, putting the appropriate size storm drain systems under our streets.
Do we have storm drain in Mill? Or that's just a very oversized sewer line?
No,
No. There's no storm drain under Mill, is there? For Mill Street?
Only where it crosses Tehachapi Boulevard right there, there's a storm drain that goes underneath Tehachapi Boulevard.
Right, but it's not the
there's
length
nothing on Mill
it's
Street.
not going south on the. So we're collecting 5 drains?
Correct. Yep. 2 surface. So one's just right off Tehachapi Boulevard. One's from the parking ride, the whole parking ride drains that way. So those are the 2 surface, and then we're grabbing 3 from below ground. One of them's directly across the street at that gas station. So there's one that's pretty
Okay.
short. The other 2 come in at an angle from Tehachapi Boulevard.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, okay. I think it's gonna be a great enhancement to that, and the whole area, like Michael said. The trees are always, the sumacs, monkey trees are always very tall in that area, so. Do you have any issues with people setting up camp in that area?
My assumption, it
Down behind J&H Automotive?
Occasionally,
Okay,
nothing to
okay,
go over the top, usually a night or so, and then they're escorted to appropriate services.
gotcha.
and
Thank
then
you
the
very
city
much.
owns most, if not all, the property to the north of this project, between the project and the railroad track, so we'll be better maintaining that surface.
Great,
Okay,
thank you very much.
anything else? Okay, can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Councilmember Chun? Yes. Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Power?
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore?
Yes.
5-0 vote, motion carries.
Okay. One more.
Yep. The next one's the Mojave and Snyder Well Transmission Intertie Project. It's a water line replacement and upgrade project. So the goal of the project was to connect the Mojave Well, head east, tie in the Snyder Well, and then south to Valley, and tie in the Denison Well and hit the transmission system at Valley. Unfortunately, we only had one bidder. It was a responsible bid. It was approximately 15% over engineer's estimate. So in our eyes, we have three options. We can direct staff to try to identify city funds to supplement the original bid and award. We can direct staff to reject the bid received and rebid at a time where additional bids might be produce more competitive bid opportunities. Or three, direct staff to reject all bids and abandon the project. With that, we believe option 2 is the right option. The goal is to rebid maybe in January, February, when I sensed there was reluctance to bid this project in the middle of winter, and be forced to tie up their equipment all winter long, especially with the recent storms we've had while it was out to bid. It also turns out that there was a large $9 million water project bid the same day, the same time in Mojave. So that's why I suspect we didn't get this. So I would ask you guys to reject all bids for the Mojave Snyder Well Transmission Main Intertie project and instruct staff to rebid at a later time and to encourage
Okay, do you have questions from the public audience? Cindy?
I have one. So this is gonna be, how deep? So this is an excavation project, right?
So yeah, it's a water main project.
Those streets did we repave those streets or they're hopefully in the queue? So,
Snyder was done circa 2019, we have not done that portion.
okay, so we're not tearing up a brand new overlay, okay. We don't like to have streets redone and then have some contractor come in and cut it. So,
Agreed.
all right.
The scope includes repaving half of Snyder that we tear up. So
Gotcha.
that section, we didn't like that either.
Yeah.
But we don't really have a choice on this, in this case. So
All right.
the half that we trench on will actually repave half of the street.
Does that make sense?
All the
Rather
way to
than
the
just a
center.
trench, it's gonna be the entire half of the street.
Yeah, and then at Snyder and Anita, we've got that real nice decorative state roads to schools.
That'll go
crossing.
back in kind. There's actually an earlier mat in there too. So
I'm sorry?
that'll go back in kind. It'll be replaced with the stamp.
That's an outbreak, okay. All right. So I'll make a motion that we reject all bids and go to bid at a later date. Is that your comment?
I'll second.
Councilmember Chun?
Yes.
Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Power?
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore?
Yes.
5-0 vote, motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you. City manager's reports, I think you have two coming up. don't we?
In a minute, I'm gonna call him up. I think I might have told you I was gonna call him up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, no, that's fine. Just wanted to report, before Mr. Budge comes to the podium, I want to ask him to report on a couple of the recent events in our city. But Valley Boulevard, very, very happy with that project. Kudos to Andrew, Sarah Jean, and many others. Jason who worked on the project. They're not completely done, but I did see them out today. You know, let's say, putting back the sensors for the signals at Tucker and Valley, so that we can have, instead of a timer, we can have a sensor, so that signalization will work again, so hopefully the next couple of days. But paving's done, the striping has been installed, the curbing
Yes.
has been installed, Mr. Smith, right, and so just really happy with that project and the way it is, so kudos to everybody involved. Denison Road, essentially is clipping along nicely also, south of the high school. on Denison between the high school and Pinion, wrapping around Pinion. Contractors making great progress. And thank you to all the parents and staff and, you know, the students that are really doing the right thing and slowing down. It's a safe area. So that project is going along nicely. Now I'd like to ask Mr. Budge to come to the podium. I'd like he to report on a couple different really successful events that the city has hosted over the last couple of weeks. One is the Breast Cancer Awareness Walk, which was amazing. And then we had an Apple Festival, which, you know, the Simarenko team, they pulled off a miracle, and kudos to them. So we have those two to talk about, and this Poppy project that the Shaw family is funding. I'd like you to talk about those three, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening.
Council. The breast cancer awareness event that my team put together, thank you. Many members here in the room attended and walked. I know Councilman Davies, Councilman Chung, thank you very much. You guys were able to make it. We had more than 100 walkers. I stopped count at 100. I think we had probably 105 to 110. And we had a 1 mile and 2 mile course. And people got a chance to check out or walk the distance that they felt. They got a chance to put a name on the butterfly tree to honor someone who is currently fighting, someone who was fought, or maybe someone who was lost to breast cancer. And that display is now up in City Hall, so people can still come. We had the opportunity to sell some hats. We still have a few left with funds that will go to support Tehachapi Cancer Foundation and the AIS Cancer Foundation, which is at Dennis Talbot. So excited about that. Just the positivity that came from the event, the amount of people, I mean, women that have battled and came forward, but family members too, caregivers, to just be there to support. My wife was honored to be able to speak, and so she appreciated the support. So it was just a great event for our inaugural event. We look to do it again next year, but I think it'll be a standalone. We tried to tie it in with the Apple Festival to kind of help them and help us with attendance. We think it'll be a standalone with the first week of October for next year to kick off the month. Also, thanks to Tyler and his team, we've painted the trees pink for the first half of the month, and now we've transitioned to Halloween, but it was pink to honor the month. And thank you to Council for proclaiming the month of October in Tehachapi Breast Cancer Awareness. So very successful event. Matter of fact, I had 2 women approach me who are survivors asking if they could speak next year. So it was one of those that motivated, and they found something to go, I can do this and I can share my story. So it empowered 2 women just to come up and say they want to be a part of it for next year. So very successful event. And that was Jessica Garner's idea for my team, and just very much appreciate her thoughts in that. Same weekend, same day, Apple Festival. We worked very closely with the Simarenko team that took over the Apple Fest this year. We've had, I don't know how many meetings with them, but numerous meetings since April, I think, when they officially took it over, kind of giving them the heads up on what to expect, what the demands are, and our expectations if you're going to hold an event downtown, what we expect the city to look like when it's all done and how it's treated during the event. They were great to work with. They understood, and to their credit, we even saw them out there Sunday, the day after the event. Amber Mitchell and her family, her kids, were out there picking up little pieces of trash that weren't, they were kind of blown away, but they policed the area and just did a great job of making sure that it looked just as good, if not better, than when they started the event on Saturday the 11th. So great event. Not sure what the numbers are yet. They haven't come back to see what the attendance was, but very strong. So, and there was a new footprint, and we had encouraged them to take a small bite from the apple and only be one day and a little bit smaller footprint, so that way they had a good idea of what they were in for. They did it, and they did a fantastic job. And they worked with a lot of nonprofits, raised some money for those different groups. So, kudos to them. So I want to acknowledge their hard work. Currently, we're in the middle of poppy seed giveaway, and I am absolutely just blown away with the response from not only the community, but the surrounding communities. So we've probably given away, I'm gonna say probably approximately 5,000 envelopes of poppy seeds. Each envelope contains about 2,000 seeds, and as we found out last week, the 100-pound sack that we got has 151 million seeds in it. It's a heck of a lot of seeds, so that has to be broken down by hand, which...
One tablespoon at a time.
Yeah, it's 1 tablespoon at a time is what goes into those envelopes, which works out to about 2,000 seeds.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and that's been taken on the first 100 pounds. I say that because we went through 100 pounds of poppy seeds in the first week, and the Shaw family, who made the original donation, has stepped up to donate a second 100 pounds, and we're going to assist them. The Shaw family put together some volunteers to put those thousands of packages together, and my job was just to find partners in the community to help distribute those. So we ended up with 14, we now have 14 different locations that are just helping us distribute these poppy seeds. So with Stallion Springs CSD, Golden Hill CSD, the Chamber, TVRPD, all of the schools and the school district office will have these seeds, plus some local businesses. So that response was overwhelming, and just the amount of people that have come in asking for seeds is just, it's been nonstop. When I was talking with some of Ashley's team, the staff at the front desk, they said people come in and they just, their head just start moving around, and they go, poppy seeds? They go, yeah, where are they? Where are they? And it's been very popular. So they just come in for the seeds. They're not even coming in to pay, you know, some are paying their water bill grabbing seeds, but some are just coming in to grab poppy seeds. So it's been pretty amazing. I've had requests from the Palmdale School District, Mojave, Lancaster, Bakersfield, and Fresno for seeds. And there's been people from across the country that have used to live here, follow our Facebook, and have asked to receive emails to them. We can't fulfill those requests, but it's nice to see that our reach goes out far. We're working on some sponsors from the renewable industry that have shown interest, where we can accommodate those requests through them. But the generous donation from the Shaw family wanted to make sure those seeds stayed here at Tehachapi. They want to do this for 5 years. This is the time to plant, October through December. Their goal is at some time by the end of the 5 years, you know, all the hillsides will be, will have a super bloom in May, and that's what they would love to see. So they've been a great partner. They have been for over a year making donations to various things that we've been working on. But this was one project that came from the Shaw family. It said, we'd really like to do this. Can you help us figure out how to do it? Not a problem. So we figured it out. And we're going to probably go through 200 to 300 pounds of seeds.
So where would you like us to throw these seeds?
Well, on your property, or if you find if you know someone who's got property, you're welcome to do that. The city, we've got our team, Tyler's team, we're working with his landscape department to put them in a couple of places, maybe at the event center, that are appropriate, that doesn't create a mowing issue, you know, where because you don't want to mow the state flower come that time of season. So there might be some appropriate places, maybe near the rock pile, where they're not out there doing kind of weed abatement, and we can kind of make the rock pile maybe turn orange, you know, in May. So there's some goals. So we're working on city-owned property with Tyler's team. So excited about that. And then lastly, we're working with the Rotary Club. We started this in 2019. So, I mean, here we are 6 years later, and we're still working with them on the 12 Days of Christmas. So that program is a food drive geared towards seniors and families in need, where people can pick up 24 items. There's a list that we'll be putting on our social media. You can pick up the list at City Hall. Those 24 items, once collected, go into a box. The city will then, what will we do? Our team, we spend it takes us about an hour, but we pull in our PD and Public Works, and we distribute to these families. We also work with Golden Hill CSD, Stallion Springs CSD, the CHP, and they deliver to the unincorporated areas. But I take on the task of cataloging, usually it's about 100 different families, and then putting them in the area where they live in the zip code, and then we appropriately distribute those for delivery. Excuse me. So that occurs, let's see, we're starting to do the food collection. City Hall will be one of the sites. TPD, hey Chief, are we going to be able to have food drops here as well? Okay, so that's two of the locations. There's several others. And then we will distribute food on Thursday, December 11th. If you have the opportunity to join us, it's powerful. We've had, some of our staff have been very moved when getting to do that, getting to contact these seniors. So if you have the opportunity, you're welcome to join us on Thursday, December 11th, about 9 a.m. So, I'm happy to answer questions on any of the events we talked about. We've been busy. I thought the event season was over.
Well, do I have any comments from the audience? Council?
Great job. Boy.
Yeah.
Someone asked you to do something? No problem.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, when I came into the office, I already had poppy seeds, so I wasn't looking at poppy seeds, but I was very impressed with the butterfly bush or tree. And I put your wife's name on there, by the way, and others.
Thank you very
So,
much.
yes. Anybody else? No? Thank you. Council member reports?
I'd just like to comment that the Apple Festival went well. I had a lot of positive comments. I got to be a judge again for the Little Miss Tehachapi Apple Girls. Had a lot of fun, and just a lot of people had a good time. So, and they're all saying glad it wasn't canceled and glad that it got picked back up. So just a lot of positive things for the city. So hats off to some RICO group for what they did.
Yes, and I'm seeing quite a bit of action going on in town, not only on our roads, the striping and the smoothness and, the little curbing and whatnot, but also trees being trimmed. It seems like every morning I hear saws going, trees are trimming. Everybody seems to be working on lots and lots of Halloween decorations. I can't believe how people get into the Halloween season, but they do. So, kudos to anybody that decorates their yard. It's a lot of work, especially with a skeleton that's, 10 feet tall in your yard. But anyway, any other comments?
Yeah, okay. No, okay, so I just want to make a little comment about our staff who put it together for the breast cancer awareness walk. It was a mighty cool day, and it was one of the coldest days, in this season, I believe. But they all out, and I was just very touched. So I thought that was an excellent idea, because right now, especially with the breast cancer, because there are so much advanced research and early detection is the key for that, and having their awareness is always the most important part, because as I know, before I heard that it was 1 in 8 women, but now I heard somewhere that it's 1 in 5. So I think that 2 parts contributes. Probably there's something has to do with the environment, whatever that there is. And another thing is the early detection that, they're able to, detect it early. So, thank you. It was very well put together.
So I was gone for the last 2 weeks back east visiting my husband's family, and their family is very active in the community. And I was listening to them, and we can't do this because so and so is territorial and won't work with us, and we can't do this because this group doesn't play well. And I just sat there and I realized, what this team does is a positive leadership and an exceptionalism with working with others and collaboration. And when you have families trusting us to help them with the Poppy Project, that's an investment into this community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nonprofits willing to invest in this. That says a lot about their belief in our abilities to do things and to do things exceptionally, not just to get it done, but to do it exceptionally. So I got in trouble. I was on Facebook following everything because I was curious how the Apple Festival went, how the breast cancer went, and from everything I saw on Breast Cancer Walk, everything I saw, it was a success. and I saw nothing but positive and wonderful things, and it meant a lot. Both events were completely different, but I saw a lot of families come together for the breast cancer walk on Facebook, and it's wonderful. So just, you know, the success, the reward for doing well is more work, Keith. And that's what you're experiencing, but you guys are doing great. Everyone's doing a fantastic job. And the little things add up to big things. Poppies add up to community gardens and everything else. So, but working collaboratively with everyone is just fantastic. So thank you.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very good thing.
And
It's a
I think
rare thing.
It takes a village. It's not just one person, but everybody in this room is involved, and it's wonderful. And they're easy to work with, and that's the important thing. Okay, anything else for the good of the cause?
This is my report from Kern Council of Governments last Thursday. I get an update every month. I know it's been a long time coming, but the engineering and design for the truck climbing lanes, the middle section, which is from Caliente to Hart Flat, that's section 2. We're calling it phase 1. But anyway, that's the section. 95% design completion now. They're having District 6 out of Fresno is such a big job. They got the engineering staff. They're the ones doing it. So it's showing from asking over the last year or so from 26%, 35%, it's 95% done. And then they're going to be next June 2026, the RTL phase. I'm not sure what that is. You don't, John? I didn't get that acronym. Anyway, something's the next phase for design, and then still slated for construction in early 2027. So that's the date we don't want to move because it has moved over the last few years. So that is a very good thing. And then we actually are naming a project for section 1, which is General Beale to Caliente. It's been identified as a project now, so we can go and look for funding for that. And it's going to be a few years, but you have to have a project. You know, it seems like the whole thing's been a project. But anyway, that section has been identified, funding, and we're finding out how we're going to go about doing that next section. And let's see. Thanks to staff for the TDA audit, or is that finance and everyone else? Because we're only one of a couple cities that aren't delinquent in the audit. They're very behind, and some cities will be penalized for not getting the audit done in time. So, because they hire a consultant, it's like $60,000, $70,000 to conduct the audit on behalf of different cities. So if cities are behind and they're not getting their information in, then they'll have to end up paying a little bit for that. Did you want to comment on that or something? Okay. But thanks to staff for making Tehachapi shine. They didn't name names, but I just asked Jay by hand signal. He said, "You're okay, Tehachapi." So thank you for staying on top of that. You don't want to be the one who's playing catch up. The other thing I had, thanks to Key and Dawn and staff, the Where Does Our Water Come From podcast, I would welcome anybody, even though we kind of get immersed in it up here. I invite anybody just to listen to it. Very professional. Dawn asks questions, or he asks questions of Dawn, he answers them, and it's very simple for any audience to digest. And it's a very good thing. So that's the first of a few podcasts on that subject, correct?
There will probably be 10 to 12 in the library, and I will just say the credit to that work goes to Maya. It's her talent that put that together to make it sing the way it did, because actually I did not conduct the interviews, but I'm glad that you thought that I did.
I hadn't heard your voice. It was your voice.
It was my voice as the narrator, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maya. All your staff, all you guys, what you're doing. This is one of the most important public communications efforts of the day right now. So this is excellent. Thank you very much, Maya.
Maya made me sound like I knew what I was talking about.
You did a great job, Maya. Very good. So I just wanted to say that. And then the other one was the the house, the Halloween house, we got that all ironed out.
Yeah, what's it
House
called?
of Terrors.
Catch
They're
me terror.
fine. Everything's up and
There's a
running.
hiccup, and now because you were out there on the podcast saying that it was fun last year, it'll be fun this year, so
They're open.
that's gonna be great. Okay, just checking.
Yep.
They did the organizers did one very great job in working with us and the fire department and code to get things up to what we deemed appropriate so they could run an event. And they were great to work with.
That is good to hear, yes. Okay, well, there was one other thing I had. Oh, someone mentioned the trees and everything, the pruning. Our contractor, Brightview, is so good.
Okay.
And I saw them out, we've got, I don't know, was it 400 trees on East Tehachapi Boulevard? These guys, they were out there in this really windy day, and they're leaning in, so they got 3 guys, and they're, because those trees all have 3 posts, and if the tree's starting to lean or post is cracked, they take care of it, and they're just, they're a very good organization. I'm glad they're doing what they do, and the city really looks sharp when their landscaping efforts are. You see it from the pruning of the bushes and stuff. So anyway, that's my 10 cents.
Anybody else?
Just want to add, I listened to the podcast on the flight out to Boston, and I would follow the water, and I was disappointed when it ended. I wanted it to go on. It was really good. It's a very, very engaging.
Yes. So stay tuned then.
There will be more.
All right.
Like,
And I might add, maybe we can send the Brightview Company a letter from the mayor thanking them, because we could not agree more. They're an outstanding extension of our public works department, and they just do an outstanding job.
And I'm surprised to see them like on Pinion West, where there's a new development of houses, and they're on the south side of the right of way, weeding. It's like almost, it's adjacent to open land, but they're doing everywhere.
We'll draft a letter for your signature.
So you can draft a letter.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not going to, someone will.
Oh, that's not my forte, writing.
Translation, no, like I.
And another suggestion, I think you guys pooped at Maya out. She needs to go home and get some sleep with all these podcasts.
She's been working hard.
I can tell.
She works
Very
hard.
She's very tired.
One thing that Maya and I talked about is sometimes it's okay to say, she's the yes person, she makes it happen, so she doesn't stop.
With a smile, that's great.
We thank you. Yeah, she'll go to bed with a smile on her face tonight, I think. Anyway, anything else? Okay. I will adjourn the meeting at 6:53.